Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Okay, you probably can't completely tell, but we are in the kitchen. The lighting's a little weird, so this is what we're doing. But I am doing a cook with me. I haven't done one in a while. So we're doing hamburger patties, mashed potato, and broccoli. I don't have any more of the broccoli packs that I can microwave and whatnot. So I got a big pack that I'm gonna cook on the stove. My hamburger patties are thawing in the sink because I make them in bulk, put them in the freezer, and then pull them out when I need to. So I do them, it's a little far away, but I do them 2 in a pack. Then these are the mashed potatoes we're doing. These are the roasted garlic. I had the loaded ones before. This is very easy, really just 2 cups of boiling water, and then you pour this in once the water is boiled, and whoop, there it is. It's like the quickest and easiest way, and I've cooked with this before, and it's enough to get me like 6 servings because I am meal prepping today. So I use these little pink containers to meal prep. So that's the plan. We have 6 patties that should be thawed out. I'm using my George Foreman. I have a little one, but she's right here. And with the size of my patties, I can cook 2 on that size. If they're bigger, I usually just do 1, so it's cooked through and through. I'd rather them a little burnt. So at least I know they're cooked. But I'm gonna start with the patties because these aren't gonna take long, especially not this. These aren't gonna take as long. I'm just taking them out so it can go a little faster. And then I have my Pam for when I'm doing the patties. So I'm gonna try to position y'all as best as possible so you can see what's going on while trying to cook. And we're gonna move forward. Also, because my patties are pre-made, they're all seasoned and all that. So literally all I have to do is put them on George Foreman and I'm good to go. So I'm hoping this angle is good enough, but my George Foreman is plugged and it's heated. So I'm going to spray both the top and the bottom. So that's nice. And then I have the little container at the bottom to catch anything that falls. And I'm going to place my 2 little patties. And then this little spatula that we're going to be using. So I bought over both patties. As you can see, they're kind of small. So they both fit. Get that. Then press it down. And then we're going to let it cook for a little bit. And then flip it over because they're basically at the point where they're completely thawed. So it's not going to take forever for them to cook. And once I'm like halfway done with 3 and 4, I'll start working on the broccoli and the mashed potatoes. I didn't say anything, but I need this measuring cup for my mashed potatoes. I'm just getting it out now because you need like 2 cups. I think it's those. Yeah, 2 cups of boiling water, which I'm going to put in here and then pour into my pot to boil, just so I can have the exact measurements. So now we're just going to check on them. See, they're looking pretty nice. And now I like to kind of poke some little incisions and then clean off what's coming out because it makes cleanup easier if I do this as they cook, as opposed to waiting for all of them to cook and then it's all stuck. So then I flip this one, and then again just clean up what's coming out and make some more incisions, because this to me helps it cook all the way through. At least it makes me feel better that I know it's cooked. Press it down and then press that down, and I'll probably flip like one more time and then it'll be done and I can put them in the containers. Okay, so as you can see, it's a little crisp at the top. I mean, it's up to you, your thoughts on it, but again, I rather mine be burnt a little bit so I know it's cooked than no. And see, I'm just cleaning some of this extra stuff because I'm about to cook the next two, and then I just flip it on the side again just to make sure both sides are cooked to my liking. And I have the container, so I'm just going to put the patty down, cover this halfway, and there we have it. I also like to spray more Pam in between, so kind of clean this off to what I like, put that aside, and then spray the top and bottom again before I put the next patties on. You probably don't have to do that, but I do. And my next two patties, place them down, which these are a little bit bigger than the other ones, but it's still enough room to where I can cook them both. And then once those are halfway done, I'll start on the broccoli and potatoes. Okay, so I have my water for the potatoes, and I'm gonna put the small burner on. I'm putting it in the smaller pot because I need my bigger pot for the broccoli. We're pouring our 2 cups of water in, and then just let that boil for a bit. Place that, and then I already put my water and broccoli in this pot. It's no biggie. And we're gonna turn my other burner on, which if anything is gonna take long, it'll be the broccoli as opposed to the potatoes. But just so y'all can see, can't really see it that much, but I got the burner on. The burner is on like 3, 4, and then, which I can turn the burner, I have this one up to 5. And with the broccoli, you don't have to put too much water because the broccoli is frozen, so it technically already has water. You just need enough. And then you can't, I don't know if you can see completely, but the water is already starting to boil, and it won't take long. It doesn't take much, because once it's boiled to a good consistency, you just pop this in, stir it as quick as possible because you don't want to leave like any clumps of these. And then I usually put like a little butter in it, mix that up, and then the mashed potatoes are good to go. And the broccoli I put in another container well, hold on. So I actually use the strainer. Since I'm boiling it, usually if I do the packs that go in the microwave, I don't have to, but I have this strainer that once it's finished boiling, I'm going to put it in the strainer in the sink, and then put it in another container and put butter and seasoning in it. As you can see, it's done what it's needed to do, which I'm going to move the angle, but I'm basically just taking this off, the top off, putting that in the sink, and then I'm going to turn the fire off, and the broccoli is still boiling. but we have it. You should be able to see the steam rising. Hopefully this angle is good enough. I changed it, but my last two patties are boiling right now, and I just have to tear this open. Make sure I dump it all in the hot water. This is the spoon I'm using, and we just want to stir it in. I'm not doing it too fast because I don't want it to splash over, but you want to make sure all of it is mixed in. This is nice and easy, but you just don't want any potato clumps, and you do not need like extra water or anything like that. The 2 cups is enough. It's just up to you to make sure it's nice and all mixed in. And just do that for a little bit so you can make for certain it's all mixed and there's no clumps. So a combination of stirring and then like pressing down. And this is the butter I'm going to use. This, I can't believe it's not butter. It gets the job done. I have a plastic knife. I'm going to use that. Scoop some in here. Dang. There we go. And then I'll also keep my knife because I'm going to need it for when I do the broccoli. Set this to the side. And stir. Let the butter melt. And boom, your mashed potatoes are done. Just that easy. Now we're going to check on these two, which they should be finished. Oops. Yeah. So again, I'm just using this to clean this extra stuff that gets stuck to it, because it makes cleanup after a little bit easier. But these are done. I had already flipped these off camera, so I just need to put them in the container, and I can actually unplug my George Foreman because it did all it needed to do today. Drop the top, but take 2 more containers out, take them off, and then place them just like that. And then while this is cooling down, I'm getting ready to do the broccoli because the broccoli is about done. And then I'm just going to plate everything in my little containers. Switch things up for y'all so you can see better again, but we have my container, my strainer, and the broccoli. A lot of steam everywhere. And there we have it. All out. All done. So I usually mix my broccoli in this container. So what I'm going to do is just pour it in here, chillin', set it down, get my butter again, I butter this up. Put some in there. And then I also need to get my Zatarain's, because that's what I use to season. Here's my little seasoning. I mean, it's up to you how much you want to put in there. I'm also getting another big spoon to mix it. And then if you feel like you need more seasoning afterwards, you do that. I kind of put a lot to start, so I'm most likely not going to put any more because I think it's good enough. And I'm not going to cover the broccoli because I'm actually getting ready to put the broccoli in my containers for the meal prep for the week. Close that back up and put it up. I know I keep changing the little angle, but I'm trying to make sure y'all can see stuff. Plate my broccoli a little bit at a time. Usually when I boil my broccoli, I do have enough and I don't have to do any more. But I like to start by putting broccoli in each one. So at least I know each container does in fact have broccoli. And then I can go and put more broccoli later. I do have to get my other two containers because they're not on this counter. Let me go get the other two containers. The other two ones, because they were over by George Foreman, which is unplugged. And then after I start cleaning everything, I'm definitely going to clean that because George Foreman is easier to clean when it's like semi-hot. And then get this to plate. So I did in fact cook enough broccoli. I definitely could have done more if I wanted to, but each container has broccoli. Now I have like a little bit left over, so I'm just gonna check to see which ones need more and then kind of go from there. And then I also have like a little bit of kind of broccoli juice, which is just like water with like the seasoning, and go and like sprinkle that on the broccoli just to give it a little bit more flavor. And that's done in the sink. And now about to do my garlic mashed potatoes. I have them sitting off to the side. And this is another thing. I just put the mashed potatoes in to start, so I know every container has mashed potatoes, and then go back and fill as needed. But because I used like these packs before, I know it's gonna fit into all 6 containers, but it's just a matter of dividing it up equally to the best of my ability. Because here we are, this is what's left, and I have 2 containers left, so basically just splitting that in half. And then that's what's left for the last one. And I mean, it works out, and I guess that also depends like how much you eat to if you want to cook 2 packs to have more. But it works. And then I just scrape out all my mashed potatoes because we don't want to leave nothing in here to go in my container. And that's it. And now all the food is prepped. I am going to kind of just put the covers on them halfway, since some of the food is still hot. And then I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator. So that was my cook with me. So now I'm cooked for the week, at least for dinner, because when I meal prep, I usually just meal prep dinner and do something else for lunch. Nothing like extravagant, but yeah. So I do have a sink full of dishes now, and my George Foreman is waiting to be cleaned. That one I'll probably clean first because, like I said, it's easier to clean when it's hot, and then do my little dishes. But it is what it is. This was definitely like less than 30 minutes, and then it takes about like 5 to 10 minutes for my hamburger patties to thaw in the sink with water. So I did that before I even started the video because I knew that was going to take some time to thaw. But it really doesn't take long, especially because the mashed potatoes are very quick and easy, and it doesn't take long to boil broccoli. And if you get the microwavable packs, that's even quicker. Those, you leave them in the pack and then you put it in the microwave for 5 minutes and it's done. But you can still do those on the stove as well. I just didn't have any more of those. So we're finished. I'm going to chill for the rest of the day after we clean up the kitchen. I usually clean as I cook, but it's a little bit harder to clean as I cook and film all in once. We're working on it. But my little food, good to go, exciting. And yeah, so I'll see y'all in the next video, but I hope y'all enjoy this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down below. Peace and blessings, my loves.